Welcome to the world of the wind in the willows, where gentle rivers, cozy burrows, and timeless friendships await. In this first episode, we will join Mole as he emerges from his earthy home into the bright spring sunshine, meets the kindly rat, and takes his first steps along the open road. Sit back, relax, and let the soothing narration carry you into this peaceful adventure. Let your body nestle into a comfortable position. Feel your shoulders relax, and allow your thoughts to soften as we begin. Mole's long winter and sudden curiosity. Mole yawned again as he swept away the last cobwebs from his burrow, the dust motes drifting like tiny ghosts in the half-light. His little paws moved with routine, brushing aside the last tuft of straw and the final crumb of winter's stores. For weeks he had been content in his earthy home, root-laced walls, soft tunnels, and the gentle hum of earth all around. But now, as he set down his broom, a strange restlessness tugged at his heart. "Another day of spring cleaning," Mole muttered, his voice warm and cozy, yet tinged with fatigue. "I've done enough of this to last a lifetime." He paused, brushing dusty whiskers from his snout, and felt the faintest tremor of curiosity. Something beyond the burrow stirred him, a whisper of air that felt different, fresher. He straightened, sniffed the tunnel's entrance, and, hesitation melting into anticipation, stepped outside. The world greeted him with a riot of sensation. Soft, warm sunshine poured over his velvet fur. The air tasted of damp moss and wildflowers. A lark's trill soared overhead, and the distant babble of the river beckoned him. Mole's whiskers quivered. His heart fluttered with wonder. He stood still, his heartbeat quickening as he took in the greenness of grass, the blue of sky, the promise of spring. The hedgerow beside him was alive with butterflies, indigo and gold, flitting among the daisies. A robin perched on a fence post, cocking its head as if curious about this unusually pale mole. Mole's eyes widened. He had never seen such color, such life. "What marvels wait beyond my tunnel?" he whispered to himself, a gentle excitement rising in his chest. Trembling with eagerness, he followed a narrow track that wound through the hedges. The grass brushed his ankles, and the breeze teased his fur. Along the path, he spotted a clump of wild garlic, its white petals nodding in the sun, and a field of golden buttercups that shimmered like stars. His nose twitched at the scents: honeyed clover, earth warmed by the sun, and the clean tang of water. "I must see where that murmur leads," Mole thought, pressing on toward the sound of rippling water. As he emerged onto the riverbank, his breath caught. The river lay before him, a ribbon of silver dancing under sunlight. Reeds swayed at the edge and dragonflies skimmed its surface. Mole leaned over to peer into the clear water. He saw pebbles spilling into deeper shadows, minnows darting like living jewels, and the gentle current shimmering. In that moment of wonder, his footing slipped. The bank was slick with dew and Mole tumbled forward. Cold water surged over his head before he even knew what happened. "Help! Help!" he spluttered, claws scrabbling at the slippery mud. The river seized him and he thrashed, panic surging as he tasted the chill and saw ripples closing over him. Suddenly, a canoe sliced through the water. Rat, paddling calmly, heard the cry and swept the blade to reach Mole. "Hold on, dear Mole! I've got you!" Rat's strong arms reached out, pulled Mole aboard and wrapped him in a warm, dry blanket. Mole coughed, sputtered, and clung to the side of the boat. "It's all right now, dear Mole," said Rat. "You're safe." Mole's heart pounded. but relief washed through him. He sat shivering, dripping, and gazed at Rat with trembling gratitude. Rat guided the canoe downstream toward his snug boathouse. The oars dipped with a steady rhythm, and Mole felt the chill of his soaked fur slowly warmed by the sun. Reeds brushed his paws, and the water glinted like scattered diamonds. "Thank you, Rat," Mole murmured. "I never realized how beautiful it is here." Rat beamed, leaning on his paddle. "The river has its own magic, Mole. Come, my home is just ahead." They glided into a small inlet where the boathouse sat, its wooden beams weathered but sturdy, little windows glowing with midday light. Inside, shelves lined with books, a sleepy cat stretched by the hearth, and on the table sat a steaming kettle. Rat led Mole to a chair by the fire and wrapped him in a thick blanket. "Sit, dear Mole," Rat said, placing a cup of tea and a slice of crusty bread before him. "You need to warm up." Mole took a sip of fragrant tea, honeyed sweetness, and sighed in contentment. He tore at the bread, butter melting into each crumb, and dipped it in honey. "The crisp bread, the sweet butter melting," Mole said. Rat watched him with a contented smile. "Nothing like a simple meal to set things right," he said warmly. The fire crackled, casting a golden glow on the boathouse's wooden walls. A sleepy cat purred at Mole's feet. Rat fetched a small loaf of warm apple cake. "Here, try a slice of this, Mole." "I've never tasted anything so lovely." "At dawn, when the mist is thin and the river hushes, there's nothing but peace, like a gentle breath." Mole leaned back. "I could stay here forever." "Rest now, Mole. Tomorrow, new wonders await." Morning light filtered through curtains as Mole awoke to birdsong. Dew still clung to grass beyond the windows, glittering like gems. "Such a gentle dawn, yet I feel a stirring in my heart." He dressed, tucked a small loaf in his satchel, and stepped outside where Rat's canoe bobbed gently. Beyond the willows lay a narrow footpath. "I must see the road stretching beyond the willow. I feel a tug I cannot resist." Rat, packing fishing lines, paused. "Ready for another day on the river?" "Thank you kindly, Rat. But today I walk on foot. There's so much to see." "Be careful, dear Mole. The world is wide and sometimes wild." Mole followed the path past golden buttercups and nodding daisies, marveling at how the loose stones crunched underfoot. A gypsy girl, Totty, offered him ale and a bun, but he declined with a polite smile. "A sip o' ale and a sweet bun?" "Thank you, but I must press on." Sunlight glinted on a distant windmill as he strode on. After many winding miles, his legs grew weary, and he heard that familiar murmur. There it is, the river again. He paused at the bank as twilight painted the sky rosy and lavender. Fireflies flickered among reeds. In the distance, Rat's canoe glided toward him, steady and true. "Thank you, river, for showing me both your banks." And there, on the silent, silvered water, Mole saw Rat gliding toward him. As the sky turned rosy, he knew that life by the river, and beyond, awaited him still. Thank you for joining Episode 1. In our next chapter, we will follow Mole and Rat into the mysterious wild wood. Until then, rest easy and let the river's lullaby carry you into sleep.